times of feedback, maybe submitting rough drafts and whatnot. I guess I don't know if that would be left up to the teacher, but we kind of felt like there shouldn't be lots of grades throughout because it's, they're learning as they go, and as long as they're putting in the effort, I guess maybe that could be part of the rubric. But
Hmm. Would you think there could be anything they could observe and bring home? Yeah. Sorry, Ashley, why don't you continue?
I was just trying to grab a link for you to send what we have on the website. It's not complete yet, but
Oh,
I've
good.
just been adding as we go.
what do you mean observe and bring home?
Well, the problem with field trips can be if they go there a little bit too open-ended, the kids won't stay focused. And I'm going to try to grab that URL before it disappears. Um, and I'm going to open it up. Then they'll be able to, if you had some tasks, for example, oh, lovely opening page on your website, made with Sway. I'm going to have to learn about that. Scroll down to view more. I see. Okay, good. And I'm just looking, that looks nice. I'm not sure how you navigate, but I guess you'll have links or something from that front page in Sway.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And there's not too many in there yet, but
Oh,
I'm
okay.
working on adding more.
Okay,
As
so it's
far
you.
as the
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I was just going to say for the field trip, I mean, we weren't just going to have them, and these details would be in the outline of the actual, like this would be a separate part, I think, that we would have outlined, but they wouldn't just go there and just like observe things. Like they would kind of go there at towards the end of their research with ideas of what they're looking to, what their questions are or what they want, because whatever their final project will be, they might need pictures or videos or an interview with somebody. So, I think the teacher should know what their plan is before they actually get there.
Oh, I see. So there'll be preliminary work before they get there. That's good. And so that comes more at the end. Okay, no, that sounds good. And will you be able to, you'll be able to put those ideas forward onto your website so that, you could eventually send people over there.
That's what we're hoping.
Okay, I know. Well, I'm not far from from this, from the Pine Bush. And I certainly know that there are a lot of groups in the Cap region that go there. And Ashley, you said your husband went there. And where are you located, Ashley?
I'm in Brunswick. He works for Gardner Dickinson Wine School. They had gone on a field trip.
Okay. Oh, that's not too far away then. Yeah, I was thinking they came in from further. I had you further out in Western New York, so. Oh, well, that's good. And when he
Yeah, we're
came,
actually not too far apart.
mm, oh, that's nice. Did do they must have presentations there too? I know I've never actually gone into the building, but so
Yeah, they had a variety of kind of on their part presentations that they give for all different ages.
mhm. Okay, so they have that. Well, it sounds like you feel comfortable with where you're going now.
Yeah, I think
So,
so.
Uh-huh.
So we send you the slides, and then you kind of put it together. And here, that would be the only part. I don't know.
Yep. Now let's see if you can see me. And if you see, oops, we've got these stalkers behind us. I suddenly turned around. It's strange. Yeah, right behind where the gentlemen are, that's just a slide turner. And what I'll do is I'll take your slides that you give me and I'll put it into that slide turner. So
Okay.
you'll be able to turn them yourself. I didn't have that last time when we had the poster sessions. And part of me hates to take down the posters we have, but we probably should put up the new ones here. Although we'll only have 5 sets. Someone else is coming to present too on something a little different. But my plan is, if it all works out right, you send me the PowerPoint, but you also put it in the course because hopefully you'll have a link. You'll have links to your website. And so people can go to your PowerPoint from in the course and they can open the links. When I take your PowerPoint in here, I have to turn them into pictures. So they're not dynamic. In other words, we won't be able to go to your link from the PowerPoint. So they're just going to be flat pictures. And I think I'll make sure everybody understands that. So hopefully you'll put good links in it. You'll put notes. You'll have a richer environment than just the pictures. But next week when you present, you'll just be showing the pictures.
Okay.
Okay? So that's about it. Just keep on going back to the course. If you have a specific question, like target it to what it says in the course. I'm just afraid, I'll forget what I said in the course and send you in a different direction. But it's essentially, actually, these slides back here had something about it. You're going to be pretty much just presenting your work. And we may have some other visitors coming too. There's actually a school out in Finger Lakes where they're going to be using this environment too, but I don't know if the instructor's coming that day or not, whether she could make it. So you'll be presenting your work. It sounds like you've got a plan. You already have a website. You'll populate that so that people could go there, and it sounds like you're on target. So that's all I needed to find out. And I also wanted to make sure you guys knew how to get in, how to use your headsets. Danielle, you seemed like you got it all figured out. I guess you had to do another download. And I guess the only other thing to remember next week when you're presenting is, and I'll keep reminding people, to put your microphones on and off. If you don't have a headset and you don't keep your microphone on and off when you're not talking, then you'll pick up all the background noise at home.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
I think I was just going to say that what ended up being the problem, it was Windows 10. So if you have students in the future download this, I would give them a heads up about the Windows 10 problem. I had to finally download some other file that you kind of replace a file with the current download. They give you the directions actually on the Firestorm website, but it took me forever to figure it out. So
I know.
At least I knew it wasn't my computer; it was the Windows 10.
That's annoying,
Something
isn't it?
about it makes the media driver not work or something. I don't know.
Oh dear. That's the whole thing with technologies. They keep on changing and updating. Even when you pay for something like Microsoft, it keeps on changing on you. So it's always a nuisance. That's why I'm sitting here with several computers. That's my hope of keeping one of them going. Okay, well, I think you're set. Follow the instructions in the course. I'll go in and pick up your PowerPoints next week, probably Tuesday night. I'll try to get a hold of them and get them posted. So I try to keep the dates in the course, but that'll give me time because it takes me a little bit of time to convert them all to JPEGs and have them uploaded and make sure that I don't get them mixed up. But I'll be interested in hearing about this. Plus, I have grandchildren right in the Cap region, and I would like them to really get a good tour of the Pine Bush. So I think my daughter brings them there anyway, but it would be nice if they could have some guidance. And they work with homeschool families as well, so I'm hoping you can have something that they could use too. So anyway. All right, well, you're free to leave. You can hang out on the island if you want to get more comfortable with walking around, or find a place where you two can talk. Remember, next week, I'm going to assume that everybody's computer and headset works, but be able to spell each other if something goes wrong. But what you should do is divvy up the presentation so that, you take turns with the slides so you both get a chance to talk about your work. And figure on 12 minutes. And look in the course, but I think I said 12 slides too, and or maybe it was 9, but see what it says in the course, and we'll set things up. I'm looking at, no, I guess even the posters here are all 12 slides. So, well, it was nice seeing you, and you're looking virtually lovely, so I have to get a better outfit myself. I lost my outfit at one point, so I made one, so it's really not that great. Oh, Nick is saying 12 slides. He read the directions. Okay, well, I'll go hang out with these gentlemen over here because I think they're the next two. And I'll see you next week, but email me if you have any questions. Okay. Yep, somebody just dropped in. I think that's Jason. And he's jumping around. And I thought I saw Nick a little while ago. There he is. Is that Nick the
I'm
redhead?
clear, if you can hear me.
Okay. All right. I guess we could sit someplace, but we could also stand here. Doesn't matter. There's
I've
something
been sitting all day.
strange. Yeah, we virtually think we have to do the same thing as if we were physically in the room. So, how are you guys doing? I saw your website coming along.
Yeah, I think we kind of started in some fits and
Ashley,
starts.
can you hear me?
But I
I
think
can,
we're
but I can
on.
still hear them.
Oh,
I don't know
What's
if
that?
it's already done.
Oops.
All right, let's try
I think the
Is
ladies
that the
are.
other group still?
Yeah, we're picking up their sound. We'll.
Okay, so yeah, where we are right now is, I think as you said, you saw the site, it looks good. We had some confusion over, at users, is this more for teachers? Is it more for students? And how specific it is. All that's under the bridge now. I think we're clear, as far as, it's kind of a place for both, but primarily where, a place students could go, to get the resources required to go on the field trip, but also a place that teachers could go where they could have some activities, and they have the answer keys and they have the rubrics for grading the certain assignments that we'd be doing on that trip.
Mhm.
One thing though is we are not kind of area specific, so this is meant to be applicable throughout New York State, in different kind of river valley areas. It's not specific to one area. Is that okay? Or
Yeah, no, it's your project. I think that's helpful because a teacher could use your general format and populate it. Yeah, and I know,
There's a lot of
Jason.
si-
Yeah,
Well, and also there's a lot of similarities, right? I mean, New York is sort of a basin, so there's a lot of rock similarities. So I think that helps. We're a region.
And the way Jason and I were talking, were, I'm looking at going to Central New York, which is very different from where Jason's going to New York City. And hey, if we both, mature this project, wouldn't it be cool if us or teachers like us, had some commonality that once we mature it for our own class, that then we could do some like cooperative crossover with other schools, and the schools in New York could see, hey, the people up in, Casanova, New York, have kind of, their issues are different and they look at it differently. I mean, why is that? And same thing for a school in like Skinny Atlas or Casanova, it would be like, consider the options of somebody in New York City that might have different concerns.
yeah, I think that would be, and I think it would be powerful if kids could go online if this grew as a database and see things posted by other schools. And that's more powerful than just seeing it in a textbook or even going online. If there's that immediate touch of another class of students about their age in another part of the state. And today it's becoming so easy with technology to have all sorts of communication. So you could have a website, but then once you get to know another group, you might have a Skype with their class. Today, if you can make the connection, there are ways you could get to talk to the class. So yeah, I think and just so that resource could accumulate over time, and then you'd meet other teachers that think like you do. And a lot of that first year of teaching, first couple of years, is going to be getting curriculum. And there are listservs. There's a good one out of Oneonta that has, at least in the past, has always had a lot of good materials. If I don't just Google it or something, the science group at Oneonta, the education department, has lots of ways that teachers share, and so does NSTA. But if you could start something, and there's a orthognography, as I'm saying, right? The bird studies from Cornell does a lot of citizen science. I don't know how much there really is on earth science, so this might be a good thing to start.
Much. I found a lot on some more biology-esque type topics, but I didn't really find a lot on geology, which means that, hey, we could be the first ones, right?
I think that's not bad. Teachers do professional development. You want to, expand out as much as possible. And Jason, your website is nice, but that's more a resource you want for your classroom. But you can always link. You could link your project-based website to a website with additional resources. Hyperlinking's a wonderful feature.
Yeah, No, of course.
Yeah.
And I feel better that we have a direction that is in line with your expectations also.
Yeah, I
Jason
guess
has that,
yeah, the temptation is to get too big sometimes with your projects.
Sure. No, but I learned a lot. I mean, that's the important thing. So
and I think we're still there a little bit now, and I can see where usually can now, even where we're on this website a little bit more focused, it still can get big kind of quick. So they're talking about, well, we can expand this out and include other schools. Probably not there yet, and even once it's up and running, we take some years to mature to there.
And I
But yeah,
think
Jason's website is great. He's porting over a lot of that stuff now. Like specifically, he has that map link where you can drop the thumbnails and track, which would be great for school tracking, so that a school up in the Adirondacks could drop a pin, and a school in New York City could drop a pin, and from there you could access basically what they found.
oh, I'd love to see that when you've got that in there. I don't know how to do that. Is that through Google Maps and stuff?
it's called a ZMap. I think it's ZMap. I'll get back to you on it.
Yeah. Well, it's no big rush, but I'd like that. I know I used to play with the GPS stuff with Google, and I know that you can upload pictures from a particular area. That would be nice someday if you did have teams of kids in different schools going out. There's just so many ways that you can get them looking for certain types of landforms, posting pictures, putting in, yeah.
Sorry, as far as resources, everything's related to the River Valley. So like ice core samples, data not going on the website. Like just
Well,
River Valley stuff. Or
I
what
think
about
that's
other-
up to you how you choose to organize it. Um,
I would think you would want as much earth science information as possible. I wouldn't want to limit, but I don't know. I'm just asking. Because I'm going, I'm going through, this is like my, I don't know, 7th master's earth science plus other stuff I've done class. So I have a lot of stuff, and I'm like, well, I told Nick I'd get 5 or 6 things, and I'm like, now I got 50 or 60 things. So I don't even know what to choose. I don't want to throw a bunch of stuff at Nick. I mean, maybe I'll talk to Nick about the central focus, about the lessons and the labs that we're doing, because I don't want to just give him a whole bunch of stuff.
yeah, I'd say,
I think that for this,
figure a teacher going there with the class, sending the kids there the night before, the week before. I think you want to keep that rather simple, but you could have links out to more information. It's easy enough to have multiple websites. I have 70 of them actually, just in Google Sites alone, for different purposes, because they
Just
get
River
too
Valley.
complicated. Yeah.
just River Valley and things you can do in a River Valley. So, anything like
River Valley, New York.
erosion, deposition, stream velocity, any unique geology features, because a lot of the river valleys are cut through, softer rock. So, you can see different layers there. So anything you could do there, I think would be good. So like any of the meteorology stuff, maybe not. Obviously the atmospheric stuff or the astronomy stuff, probably not. But I think most of the other stuff is pretty
Yeah,
free.
depth of it.
Even the map reading stuff and GPS, that could be
Right.
terrain features and those
Mhm.
So many,
around.
so many pictures too. So many images.
I know. Yeah, I'm working with
We'll figure it
somebody
out.
now who's collected pictures for 20 years, and he's doing a kind of a nature citizen science thing, and he's a photographer, so they're beautiful pictures that he has. But now he's trying to figure out how to coordinate and organize them. And the Google Sites is more, to me, it's kind of text-based. It's kind of more like an online course. But there are places called Wix and Weebly. They let you put up lots of pictures, but then they're not as text-oriented. So he's going back and forth. But there are just so many ways now with websites that you can get pretty much for free. Although I stick with Google Sites because I think they'll stay in business. You just can't be sure today about any technology what's going to stay around. But I think there are just many different types of websites that you can put together. And, you know, they'll all give you some combination of pictures and text. It depends on their focus, how easy things will be. And they all will let you upload videos, put up forms. So they're an important resource because, you know, I have a lot of materials for Empire State College, and I put them on different websites, so I don't have to be uploading them into courses all the time. You know, also, you want to keep your intellectual property. So as you're going out looking for work, I think if you have something that you can demonstrate and show that represents your, you know, your science skill and your technology skill, I think that'll help you. So, no, but it sounds like you're still doing a little planning as to what you're going to put on the website, but you seem pretty comfortable with the project.
I think we're good with what we're putting on the website. I just wanted to make sure I stayed focused because I'm organizing stuff. This is good. I always wanted to organize my files, and this is my opportunity. But take a while, and I'll just spend time because I don't want, you know, again, I want to give Nick maybe 10 to 50 solid files that are totally relevant. It's very specific.
Mm-hmm. And you can also bring them in as links. One of the things, if you noticed, one of the Google site pages I had is called, I forget what they call it, but it's a list. I think it's called the list, and you can upload lots of files into it. So you look, I think I put a couple of basic teacher ed ones there, but it was one of those pages that, you know, if you have PDFs you want to upload, I think they let you store up to 100 megabytes. So it takes a while before it gets used up, but, you know, so there are different pages in Google sites that allow you to bring in different things. You can even bring in a PowerPoint Google Sites version. You go to Google Drive and do a presentation. You could embed that into your website easily if you wanted to. And there's directions within that website that I sent you. There were links to directions, but you can easily find them just by going to forums online. You know, so it's not hard to do.
Okay. Go ahead, Nick.
I did have one question, and that is the project overview report.
Yeah. What was your question about that? I always get.
I thought that was like kind of the main effort of this, and that the website was kind of a side, kind of good to have. But now, I mean, we're all in on the website. Like that's our kind of main effort. So
I'm trying to remember so that I don't send you on a wild goose chase. Go into the assignment, and right now I don't want to open that up because I'm trying to keep a window open in case somebody's getting stuck and I have to help them. I think the intent. Right now, so. Yeah, what does it say there? I think they're both to kind of reinforce each other.
Your project overview report here. That's all it says.
Yeah, I think that's for me, but I think the idea too was that you could. Was that the one that you could give to another teacher, or is that the one that is pretty much just for me?
This says for private feedback.
Oh, okay.
There's a project background, which is like a discussion board, which we share with the rest of the class. That's 4.2, and then 4.2a is the project overview report.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you know, I always want you all to share everything because you're going to learn more from each other than from almost anything else. But then I do have to, for grading purposes, I can't, there's not enough privacy on a discussion board. So that's why I just have to open another one all the time.
Okay, so we just, whatever we put in that discussion board, we can just cut and paste that into another document?
Yeah.
Give you that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not some big extensive
no
14-page.
Oh, no, it's just to summarize.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't want to make too, my goal was to get you to pull your ideas together, make it also something that you could pass on to someone else pretty easily. So I think you sound like you're going in a good direction, and obviously you both know how to use this setup enough. I'll be taking your PowerPoint that you give me during, up to I think the day before, turning them into JPEGs. I'll have them in that slide projector, which is I guess behind me now. I'll put them there. You turn them yourself. And I'll time you. You'll have about 12 minutes, and that way I can give everybody 15 minutes between things. And this projector here, you'll have your own slides, and you just click the forward and back button. And the direction should be in the course, but essentially you're going to explain what you've done. And I'm going to try to tape it and get the sound right, but inevitably I don't get both of them right at once. So you'll either have a picture or sound. But my problem is I can't come in and test it, because if I can come in by myself, I can't test all the sound systems. And then when everybody's here, it's too complicated to test the sound systems. So I'll try to see if I can get a recording of everybody next week. But you know how to turn your mics on and off. Be prepared just in case one of your computers or your headset wasn't working, so that you could take over for the other person, but ideally split up who says what, so that everybody gets a chance to hear both of you. But I'm excited. I always like this summer course because I get to hear some very interesting projects. And I think I'd be an earth science major if I were young now. I would go back and study earth science. So, and I'm wondering too, Nick, it certainly must have come in handy with some of your special ops. You certainly had to know what was going on.
Yeah, well, it's challenging. In fact, that was or through some of my past schooling and stuff like that, I was already had the certifications I needed to be a social studies teacher.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I love that stuff, but I'd really, I'm really jazzed about the earth sciences, and if I going to sit around and talk about something all day, I could do that forever.
Yeah.
So,
well, and you'll have lots of
I've
chances.
enjoyed incorporating into this lesson, so
Yeah.
I'm excited for the presentation.
No, it'll be good, and we'll hear everybody's. And, we've got some other ones. Well, and I've got two folks now that I've got to go talk to. I think they're going to have an interesting water study. If you haven't been peeking at what they've done, I think you'll be finding out. They're looking at the human interface with water. So I think that now I'm not always sure who's who. I think I turned my little tags off, so I can't always see everyone's name, but I think that should be Edwin and Michelle over there. So they'll be doing water studies as well, but they're going to look at human contamination. So, all right. Well, okay, you guys sound good. Email me any questions, but otherwise I'll see you next week. You can stay or leave or do whatever, but I will now talk to, let's see, is that Edwin and Michelle? Can you take the mic? Let's see if they know how to do the mic. Oh, they do.
Hi, Dr. O'Connor, how are you doing?
Yeah. Okay, I'll move closer to them. Can you see me? I have
Yes. Hi, Dr. O'Connor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Edwin. I can hear you well. Michelle, can you
you
talk
doing?
too?
Yes, I can talk.
Oh, good.
Can
Good.
you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly. You guys get this fast. I will tell you that there are faculty that I've been working with for many years who still can't figure out how to make an avatar talk. So congratulations. So you want to fill me in on where your project is right now?
I'm currently working on the website, trying to manipulate the one that you sent me to be something for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing more of the rural aspect of the water quality with the septic systems and the closer watersheds, and Edwin's going to be working more on the urban aspect of things.
Mm.
Yeah, urban.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. I know both of you talked about the actual sewage treatment. Is part of your project going to be to bring people to the sewage treatment places, or is that part of what you're suggesting a teacher does?
Yeah, actually, I visited the Newtown Creek, and I wasn't allowed to visit by myself, so I had to take my students. So that was really, for them, they said it was the best trip ever. So I was really overwhelmed.
Wonderful.
So
So you really went with them. Was it hard to get? I was reading your document before. You had to get permissions, but it sounds like you pulled that together pretty quickly. I don't know if I lost you there, Edwin. You might have to put your mic back on. So the kids.
Yeah, it took me like the process. Like I had to take some parents' permission slips that they have to sign for their children to come with me.
But they went, and now where was this located? I know it was in the city, but I'm not familiar. What part of the?
It's in Brooklyn, Newtown Creek. It's the boundary of Long Island City and Brooklyn.
Mm,
So it's pretty close to Manhattan, the East River area.
okay. It must have been huge, a huge treatment plant.
It's a huge, like ice to the sludge. Oh my God, it's like boiling blackish thing, and you could smell the methane gas. You know what? I fell in love to work there. I want to leave teaching and work there.
That's good. Well, that's really important. You're giving them career thoughts. As I told you, I worked with sewage for years. That was part of, I tested drinking water and sewage for Westchester County. So, I've always been fascinated by that. And, those big settling tanks and I don't know, was it a tertiary treatment place where they did a lot of the settling tanks there, or did things get pumped out?
Yeah, things pump out.
Oh, that must have been huge. Now, Michelle, you were showing some of the local well, tell me what way you're looking at sewage over in Red Hook.
I was thinking about having a septic company come in and explain how septic tank work, how they test for like the percolation of the soil. And then there's even a smaller sewage treatment plant down in Hyde Park that we would be able to go visit as well. So they'd have both aspects.
Nice. And I don't know how you two are using. Are you having an easy enough time figuring out how to change the website over to what you want to do?
My only issue is the header part. I want to change the picture.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying different things and I don't know how to do that.
Oh, I'm trying to remember where the link is. I'll send it to you. If you go in, that website links to website. As a matter of fact, I think I made a video about that. And I think one of those pages actually has the video.
Okay.
And it's just a matter of finding the buttons. You go in and you
That's what I
manage it.
figured.
Yeah, it's there because, it would be nice to put your own picture in. And, I tried to make it so you could swap out content pretty easily. And,
Yeah, I already did the homepage for us already.
oh, good.
Put a new video in there and some other things. So.
Oh, great. You have a video too. I mean, hopefully this will be something you can showcase, when you look for jobs, when you're going around or work with another school. My goal was for you to have a collaborative project, but something that you could share with others. And I'm particularly happy you picked sewage treatment because I had that job for almost 4 years. And I always thought it was a fascinating place to bring kids. And how when you drive through, even on the thruway, you see those little mini sewage treatment plants that they have for some of the stations. It's I always want to stop and look at them.
Yeah, and I think, people never think about where the stuff that they put down the drain goes. So it's nice to give them an idea of
Mm-hmm.
what really happens.
Mm-hmm. With so many more medications and everything now, I think I was reading it in one of your papers. Or maybe it was Edwin's
About the
paper.
Antibiotics.
Yeah.
And all that awful stuff that they don't even test for when
Mm-hmm.
they do the water treatment.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
No. Well, and when I tested for it, I was in the chemistry, but the microbiology people would test, but they really only used indicator organisms. This was back in the 1970s, but
Yeah, it's like
they-
coliform and E. coli.
Yeah.
That's about where they stop.
they're not testing for virus. They're they really don't test for most of what is in the water. They hope it gets diluted out enough. That's the theory. And most of the time, I think that
But it
works,
doesn't.
but not
There's
all the
so
time.
much of it now.
Mm-hmm. Lots more drugs. So next week, when you guys, so you both know how to use your headsets and everything, so that's good. What you'll be doing is, and follow the directions in the course because I don't want to say something else because I don't have the directions with me. Somebody else just popped in. You assume that you both can take turns, and so plan so that both of you have some part of the presentation, but be ready just in case somebody's microphone malfunctions that you could take over the whole presentation yourself, just as a fail-safe.
And we submit the presentation to you as a whole, and then you put it in. Did I hear correctly? from the
Yeah.
last group that you- okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if I have this in the course. I want to send a note out. it would be good that you consider your presentation as something somebody else could pick up and it would have the information and the links in it. So do that. Like if you want to put a link to your presentation, in your presentation to your website, that would be good because, someone else in the class could find your website from the PowerPoint. But when you actually are presenting, it becomes a picture. What I do is I have to save them as JPEGs and I bring them in so they're not interactive next week. Like when you're going to be, and I'll try to face it, this board up here is what you'll have, but it's going to have your PowerPoints. And between each group, I'm going to swap out the slides. So you'll give me the PowerPoint, I'll turn it into pictures, I'll upload them, and I'll have a folder for you. And when it's your turn, if I do this all right, then I'll swap out the pictures and you'll be able to have your own slides.
Okay. And for the project overview, the final thing, do we just submit the PowerPoint and like our website link for what we've done, or do you want like an actual written?
I hesitate to say because I can't remember exactly what's in the course. If you could look at what's in the course and send me a note if it's not clear. I don't have the course open right now because I have too many other things open. So hopefully I made it clear there. The idea was to have you have a couple of different levels of information that you could share, some just with me, but then others with another teacher or a colleague. So just go back in there, and if there's a question when you're looking at the assignments, send me a note and I'll be able to look at the file at the same time. I just can't do it right now.
Understand.
Oh, hi, Dr. O'Connor. I prepared this morning the conceptual framework. Can we include that also?
Yes. If you want to make any revisions or changes, was that what you were asking, Edwin? Yep. No, and I think I've been impressed by everyone's work. It's enjoyable to see all the different projects coming in. So I think it sounds like you guys know what you're doing. Mail me any questions, but next week it's going to be everybody presenting, and I'll ask you to stay a little bit longer because that will give everybody 12 minutes, little transition time. And there is one other person coming to present. He's doing independent class, but he's going to come and present his work in a middle school where they're doing what they call blended learning, and they use a lot of technology with their science. So Brian Dwyer is going to be coming and presenting too. Okay. So grab your drink, sit at your computer. At least you can relax. It's not like you have to drive any place, which is always nice.
That's true.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr.
All right. Well, thank you, folks, and I'll see you next week. And I think you get one more group. There's a tall lady back there, so I think she'll. But you're free to hang out here or visit one of the other islands, or have a seat, whatever makes you comfortable. But it seems like you're good at getting around. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Okay. Sarah, is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Oh, hi. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. This is better now. I think we're waiting for, I don't know if Steve showed up yet.
Yeah, he's right behind you, actually.
Oh, is he? Oh, there he is.
We're on time. We try to be prompt.
Good. So how is your project coming along?
I think it's going really well. Getting close to the finish line.
Yeah. Well, you had some huge things going with databases. And Sarah, is this something you've done already with your students or you're going to do?
I have. I did it actually a couple of years ago with a group of students. I didn't include as much of the invasive species as we are this time.
Mm-hmm. And how did it work? Did the kids enjoy it?
They did. I have actually a lot of really cute pictures from it that I'm hoping I can put in our poster a little bit.
Oh, wonderful. That would be wonderful. So they're integrating lots of different aspects of data at the same point. So now,
how in depth do we need to go in this poster?
what I keep on saying, I'm afraid to say too much because I can't remember what I wrote in the course. And I don't have the course open at the same time. The idea is that you're to communicate to your colleagues, assume that they could be a group of teachers too that might want to be doing the project, give them, a sense of what you're suggesting, how you've organized the materials, where they could get access to your website or any resources they need. So go back to the assignment, and later, if you have questions, send them to me. I just can't get into the assignments right now. Just communicate to everyone else in the class. Assume they haven't been reading what you're doing all along, and give them the big picture of what you're doing and how students and another teacher might use it, like what your assessments would be. Just overview your project. And you'll have 12 minutes. The thing to keep in mind is when you make your PowerPoint, think of that as a rich environment where you could put in a link to your website, a link to resources. But when you give it to me for the presentation, I'm going to have to turn it into pictures. So I'll be posting it. I don't know if you can see this poster board behind me. I'm looking at it now. I think Steve can't see it. He's turned away from it, but you should be able to see it, Sarah. Yeah, I'll turn your slides into images and I'll upload them here. And all you'll do is, as you go, you'll just click the slides to advance them. So it's pretty easy. As long as you get it to me by the day before, that gives me time to get in and set it up. And what you yeah. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Have assessments that are. Do you want assessments that are like laid out?
Well, go to the course so I don't misspeak. You should have a rubric.
Okay.
And you should be sending them on. You're sending them on a rather complex project, so you might want a rubric already. I was just looking at the one that Nick and Jason were doing, kind of a typical project-based rubric, which you can get a lot of those online and just customize them to what you're doing. So,
okay.
Yeah, there'd be an assessment, there'd be directions to the teacher, there'd be the goal of your project, something that they might share with another school. Those type of particulars about your project is what you should present. You'll have 12 slides, 12 minutes, and then a little time for Q&A. And you should take turns with who's speaking, but be prepared in case somebody's mic wasn't working that night, that you could take over for each other.
Okay.
Okay. So how's it coming together for you, Steve?
Oh, pretty good. I was just gonna just getting some data from the actual quote unquote field study, doing some water test kits, just using got some pictures of using the Quadrat that Sarah has proposed. Kind of made a small one just to see how easy or how hard it was, and it was pretty straightforward. Just using some 1/2-inch PVC piping, it was pretty quick and easy. Just identified. Part of the field study is identifying some of the invasive species of the aquatic that are in my backyard pond or the field study, and just getting some more information. And I was looking at part of the project was why the hydrilla, the invasive species. There's another native plant called Shara, and they really work well together. So I'm trying to find out some more information on a symbiotic relation between those two, because it looks like the shower has really worked well in hand with the hydrilla, and I'm just trying to figure out why. So that's part of the research I'm doing.
Interesting. Yeah. Are they both, when they work together, are they now both considered nuisances, or does that?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure the hydrilla is a bottom root plant that grows up, and the shara is a muck grass that grows down. And they really work well together. And it's amazing how fast and quick it grows. So
interesting.
Trying to find some. Yeah, I'm just there was an observation that I and my next door neighbor had about how fast the hydrilla has actually helped the muck or the shower / muck grass grow. So that was just something I was going to throw in there. as part of the field study of a. I was trying to make mine kind of a micro study of what Sarah has, so that's what we're kind of working towards. You know, and actually putting some of her field study and her quadrat into an actual picture and just how it applied to my actually some of her quadrat calculations actually helped me decide the density of the plant. So that's kind of a nice interrelation between her biodiversity plan and then my study going in.
Wow. It's nice to hear science working, you know, where you're really doing a sort of interdisciplinary study or using different methods. And that would be, you know, if you had kids coming along and seeing this, that you're really starting them out seeing the world from a scientific perspective. With the tools we have today for measuring, for sharing, you know, I'm talking to different people in this class here where you could now have a project that you could have other people replicate. You know, what great science. And then I think if you have schools sharing, you'll get more interest going among the kids. And we're always looking to get more people in STEM careers. So I think that, you know, you're opening up a lot of doors to a good school activity, but you're showing them, you know, how we look at the world and interpret data. And you're just turning them onto a lot of things that hopefully they'll stay aware of and continue to be interested in science and technology and the world around them. So you sound like you're going, I can't remember, do you have your own website or do you need one?
You gave us a
Oh, I gave you one. Okay. Are you comfortable? Did you figure it out?
Yeah, it seems
I've looked
pretty.
at it a little bit.
Seems pretty good. We were going to put our reports and some links, and I've got some pictures and some links to the DEC and some information. And I think Sarah's got some field study guys that we could link to or put on.
Yeah, one of those pages is one that you could upload files. I forget which one, because that's one of the pages that Google Sites has that you just, you know, put it in and it allows you to upload files and keep them like as a file. I think they call it the file cabinet. So one of those was actually a file cabinet. I put in dummy pages that might be something you'd want or you could erase. So I think you'll find that. And I sort of structured it around the type of things you'd be thinking about. But it's not a one-to-one match. It's really just a dummy site for you to put your own materials in. And you can change the color, you can change the pictures, and I hope you do, you know, but you'll have some interesting outdoor pictures. So, but it sounds like you've got a good direction. You're set for next week when you guys take the stage, and I'm just going to be I'm going to be posting your slides. And hopefully, I'm going to try to record it if I can get the sound working right, but I can't always guarantee that. But I get the visual recording. I'm just not always good at getting the sound pickup from all the different mics.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Well, Sarah, I'll get a hold of you the normal way, and we'll hook up and finish things up.
Sounds good to me. We're almost there.
Yeah,
Okay,
terrific. You guys have done a great job this summer. I really appreciate this. I'm going to hang out for Daniel a bit, but Daniel had to go someplace, and I can't remember if he was going to get back in time. So I'm just going to hang out here. But you're free to leave, to fly around, to do whatever.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Quick question.
Yeah.
For the PowerPoint, we send you the files, and then you upload them to the poster board, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And tell me, these posters are from the spring. I think maybe I'll replace these posters with yours too. And I have two things. I'll replace the posters, but also there's a slideshow turner behind these chairs are facing it. And I'll be putting them up there for each of your turns, unless I mess up. But I should be able to do that. I think I've learned, I just have to transfer some files over to that. So what you'll be doing then is you talk, you say, I'm just clicking a button and it's turning the slides for me. And there's a button at the, so that's how you'll be able to turn your own slides. If something messes up, I will have your posters around the island too. So we'll have that backup plan. Okay?
Okay.
But sounds like you're all set.
All right, great. Thank you.
And I look forward to next week. Okay, well, good
Have a
night,
good night.
everybody. I'm just going to hang out for Daniel a little bit.
All right. Bye, Sarah.
Okay,
Bye, Steve. I'll talk to you later.
bye.